Hey friends, welcome to another integration and exploration, this time of the head intelligence. This can be a very complicated space to explore because it is so layered. There's so much happening up here in the head space, from the many different functions that it offers us to all of the different ways that it controls and moves the body. It serves as sort of this central operating system for so much information coming in and then to get processed and then sent back out in other directions. So it can be a very complicated space. So let's start with the breath. Let's just start to bring some awareness to how our breath currently feels. And there's nothing to change here, nothing to do, but just bringing awareness to the breath itself. Starting to notice, how does the breath feel? Does it feel fast? Does it feel slow? Does it feel full, or does it feel shallow and short? Does it feel smooth and spacious? Or does it feel constricted or rough? And then again, nothing to judge here. This is just our opportunity to start to bring awareness to how our breath currently feels. And as we get a sense of how the breath currently feels, starting to invite a sense of ease to the breath. So whatever you can do, whatever it might be to open up the space in the head, through the throat, the chest, the belly, to just allow the breath to have more of a sense of ease, more of a sense of flow. And as you find that sense of flow, making sure that the exhale feels complete. So if you feel like the exhale stops before you are empty, just make sure to continue that exhale all the way to a sense of emptiness without pushing anything out of the breath. And then allowing the inhale to be a response to the exhale. So after the exhale, we just allow whatever comes back in on the inhale. Letting that exhale slow down, just bringing some sense of calmness to the nervous system, some presence into the body. And then starting to allow the breath to feel like it has a cyclical nature to it. So from the exhale, we just flow right back into the inhale. From the inhale, we flow right back out to the exhale, and trying to feel like those have an even pace and an even timing to them. And then starting to have the inhale, bring your attention into the head. So let that inhale just draw your attention into the space within the head, almost like the breath cycles and flows through the head and back out on the exhale. And just starting to let the mind's attention follow the breath through the head space. And at first, we're just going to check in with, how does this space feel? Do you notice any tightness? Or does it feel spacious? Does it feel full, or does it feel empty? And one of the first things that often shows up when we start to explore the head is our stories, because this is the story maker. The head loves to create the beginning, the middle, and the ending of all stories, because it's part of how it helps to keep us safe. So as you have your attention here in this space, and with a curious, observational gaze, what stories start to come forward to you? And if you can, as the stories come forward, stay in the place of the observer of the story, so that you don't get too involved in the story or caught within the story. Almost like you are watching the story formulate and move through the head. And sometimes these stories are beautiful stories that are very supportive, And sometimes these stories are unsupportive. And what we can recognize is these stories, again, always form with some intention to help us, even if they're hurtful stories. And so if we can just stay in an observational, curious space as we start to see these stories come forward, we can also ask, what is within this story that I haven't seen before? Perhaps because I have judged it as a good story or a bad story. Maybe it's a story I once believed and no longer believe. But as it comes forward right now, is there something new to be seen? And just staying present with this sense of observation, because another power of our mind, of our head brain, is it likes to make meaning, which can be very, very helpful in the right times. However, in times like this, it can distract us. And right now, we don't need to make meaning of these stories. We don't need to make meaning of what we're observing. We just get to see them. We just get to experience it as the observer. And then just taking a few moments to check back in with the breath here, making sure that the exhales are complete, and checking back in with that sense of cycling through the breath, where the out breath just moves right into the in breath, and they have an even pace, an even sense of volume to them, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And as we continue to explore this very complicated and very layered space of the head brain, looking for this space of vision, you can take that however you want to with the sense of vision. So this could mean just vision of daily life. This could mean vision of the future. Or, if you're being drawn to it, even the more expanded concept of vision, where it has more of a esoteric or spiritual nature to it. I would just encourage you to follow whatever you're guided towards at this moment. So as I say, looking for that space of vision within the head, what are you guided towards? And does it have a specific space within the head? Is there an area that you're drawn to? And does that have a specific pinpoint to it? Or is it an entire area? And as you tune into this space of vision, starting to notice what vision comes forward. And again, really staying in a curious and observational place and resisting the mind's temptation to want to make meaning of it. As we see the vision forming, just letting it form, just allowing it to be what it is, without having to attach meaning to it. And as the vision forms, continue to let it change, let it evolve, let it move. Don't get stuck on what that vision is in this moment. As we continue to move the breath through the headspace, being aware of this vision, also just checking in what starts to happen with your breath. Or does the feeling within the space of the head, does it change, does it shift, does it move? And then letting the breath start to expand out from that specific area of vision and filling the entire head. So let the breath start to encompass the entire space of the head. So from the front of the skull to the back of the skull, from the side to side, from the top to bottom, all the way into the central depths of the brain. Just seeing it all, experiencing it all. And again, checking in, what's the sensation there? And as you have this grander vision now of the entire space, starting to feel a sense of integration, some level of harmonization between all of the many, many different aspects of the head, We've just explored a couple of them, but there's so much more to it. So feeling into the analytical aspect of the head, the visionary aspect of the head, the storyteller, the protector, the guide, the integrator, the part that does want to make meaning out of everything. Maybe even the part that sometimes we struggle with, that wants to take over. Can we feel a sense of integration and appreciation even for the entire thing? And remember to use the breath to help with this integration. Feel the breath surround everything and connect everything, where it no longer feels like these separate parts, it feels like one. And as you breathe into that oneness, starting to let that oneness expand downward through the throat, into the chest, and starting to connect with heart space. So that compassionate space, that place of deep sense of purpose and value, wherever that is for you, letting that sense of integration with the head intelligence drop right down into heart and feeling them connect. And letting the heart be part of that oneness, and the intelligence of the heart and the head get to be cooperative and one. And with that cyclical, smooth breath, dropping now the attention from the heart even deeper into the belly space, into the gut intelligence, and really feeling that sense of integration all the way through the head, down into the heart, and deep into the belly space. Feeling all three of these major intelligences within the body starting to feel like they are one, instead of these separate pieces. Each one has an individual and unique gift to offer us. However, our greatest wisdom comes when they're in cooperation, when they're integrated, and when they're working together. So just taking 2 or 3 more breaths to really feel that connection all the way from head to heart to that deep belly and gut space. And then feeling that integration start to extend further out into the body, so into the legs, into the feet, into the arms and shoulders, out into the hands, into the fingertips. And as you feel ready, just starting to bring your awareness back to the space around you. Maybe starting at the skin, the surface of the skin. Noticing the air that surrounds you, the space that surrounds you, the floor underneath you, the seat underneath you if you're seated. Letting the awareness just start to expand further into the space of the room. Maybe starting to blink the eyes open slowly. If it feels needed, give yourself a little movement, maybe opening up the chest or moving the neck, giving your body a little shimmy in your seat, whatever you feel is needed to just start to connect back into the space around you. And once again, just showing gratitude to yourself for this exploration that you just went through, this sense of integration. I encourage you to repeat this process as often as necessary, especially if you feel like you are someone who gets very caught up here in the head. The more often we explore, the more often we integrate and reconnect that with the rest of the wisdom of the body, the less that the head will want to take over control. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this journey.